Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Resurgence meta here after the Season 3 Reloaded update is pretty competitive when it comes down to it. I mean, there are a lot of very solid options. Today, though, I have brought it down, narrowed it down to the top 5 best loadouts you want to be using after the update. So we are starting first here with a phenomenal combination of versatility. We got the M4, we've got the P90. Now, real quick before we dive into the weapon setups, let's talk about the tacticals, the perks, and everything, the lethals, because this is pretty much the same on every single loadout. So smokes, so clutch. Whether it's for trying to res in a sticky situation, whether it's trying to provide cover for yourself while rotating, these are awesome. I love smokes in this game. Throwing knives, obviously for the insta finishes, we want those so we can get the mini-map pings of where the enemies are. My perk package here, pretty standard overkill, so I can have 2 weapons, double time for the increased tac sprint, resupply to keep regaining those knives and smokes as needed, then high alert so I know if anyone not using cold-blooded is looking at me, which is probably one of the most clutch perks in the entire game. Again, that's the same on every single class setup with the exception of one that we'll get to here in just a bit. But M4 and P90, you guys know how much I love the P90. Best mobility because you can focus pretty much all on that. M4 has got that versatility of the mid to long range. It's easy to use, especially with this setup on here. It's going to be ridiculously reliable, specifically for Rebirth here, or Resurgence and Ashika Island. So AMOV V4 optic, always use whatever optic you're the most comfortable with. Furthest eye position, faster ADS on those tunes. 45 round extended mag, you could also jump up to 60 if you want. No wrong answer there. High velocity ammo, pretty much a no-brainer on every mid to long range weapon. Better velocity, better damage range on the tunes with that one. Harbinger barrel here is going to give you some better control, some better range, some better velocity. Really solid, just makes the weapon even easier to use and even more efficient over range. Better velocity and ADS speed on those tunes. And then lastly, high tower barrel. It's the 3-in-1, velocity, range, control, and then we tune for that better range and steadiness. So going to be adding a lot to the setup with one specific attachment here. This thing is low recoil, great TTK, low risk, high reward really is the best way to describe this. Then the P90 setup here, you guys will be happy to know I've finally gone away from the blue dot a little bit. I kind of go back and forth with it, but I have switched over to the GR33 light rail. This is just going to be iron sights, but with better movement speed, so you're now even faster. So this setup is really reminiscent of like the Mac 10 back from Warzone 1. Not quite the same because the movement's different, but this is speedy. You're flying and frying. We got better sprint speed and sprint to fire speed on the tunes with that one. Q900 rear grip, better ADS and sprint to fire, tunes to match. Behind the face cam, we've got the tac comb as always, better ADS and sprint to fire yet again with tunes to match that as well. Lockshot KT85 for some consistency with the control. This will make the gun shoot very straight, make it very easy to use. Better gun kick and stabilization on those tunes. And then lastly, we got the 7mm laser, better ADS and sprint to fire tunes to enhance that even more. So this thing is so dang fast. I love it. It really allows you to outmaneuver enemies in a way that most other weapons can't in this game. Now, setup number 2 features the newly buffed Lachmann 5.56, then also the MP5, arguably the best SMG in the game at the moment. So you got your close range covered here. You got the mid to long range covered with the Lachmann 5.56. This thing is so easy to use. There's like no recoil on it, which means your realistic TTK is going to be phenomenal. Yet again, we got the AMOV V4. Furthest eye position, faster ADS on here. 40 round extended mag, you can also jump up to 60 if you really wanted to. It will be a little bit slower, so just keep that in mind. Ripper underbarrel is going to make this thing shoot about as straight as it can. There's going to be no sway whatsoever, right? So better stability and stabilization on top of the already better stabilization that the attachment is adding itself. Echoless 80 suppressor here, better velocity, better range, making it even more efficient in the long range. Better velocity and ADS on the tunes for that one. Then lastly, I go for the 15.9 inch wrap barrel, better velocity, range, control, the 3-in-1 yet again. We got the better range and steadiness on those tunes. This thing is, quite frankly, I want to say the easiest gun to use in the game. If you are someone who just wants to shoot straight and land shots easily, look no further than the Lachmann 5.56. Then this MP5 setup, flying and frying just like the P90. This is pretty much all mobility based here. We got the 40 round extended mag here. You could also jump up to 50 if you wanted to. Again, be mindful of that slight slowdown though. TCG 10 rear grip's going to make it consistent in the mid range with that better control. Then we tune for the inverse of better ADS and sprint to fire, so it's still nice and snappy. I've actually switched over to the mirror recoil 56 stock, better sprint speed so you're even faster, better control as well, which is a nice added bonus. we tune for better mobility there. 7mm laser, as always, better ADS and sprint to fire on those tunes. Then the Falcon barrel, better movement speed, better ADS speed, pretty self-explanatory. I do tune for a little bit of steadiness here, though, again, just for like some of those potential mid-range fights, you want to make sure the weapon's shooting straight, and so that'll bring some consistency to the overall build. But I love this thing. It's snappy, it's fast, it kills quickly. Fantastic close range option. Now, setup number 3 here is all about the TTK, right? Close range TTK, Vaznev's gonna be frying. Mid to long range, we got the Squall, the most powerful weapon in the game right now. Now, the Squall is difficult to use, so we are focused completely on control here pretty much. I got the AIMOT V4 yet again, furthest eye position, faster ADS. I'm a broken record every time we're talking about optics. 50 round extended mag, pretty self-explanatory. I go for high velocity ammo, just straight up for the better velocity, more consistency in the mid to long range, better velocity and range on the tunes there. Then I go straight up for all control here. No stability. You could use the Ripper if you wanted to for the sway, but I go for lock grip precision because this is going to give you the most vertical control and horizontal control benefits out of an underbarrel. And I actually end up tuning for the better ADS than some hip control because that does actually translate to the full build. And then lastly, we got the Talon suppressor on here, better control, velocity, and range. We tune for the better velocity and ADS speed as well. This will really help limit the recoil and the bounce on the Squall. It's still going to be noticeable, but this will help maintain it, some and allow you to be efficient over the mid to long range. Then close up, I mean, the Vaz has it covered, right? This thing is speedy. It's got a really, really fast close range TTK within like around 10 meters or so. 45 round extended mag, we got the True Tac rear grip, better ADS and sprint to fire is always there. The Ultra's at stock for the better sprint speed, so you're even faster on those rotations. The strafe speed's a nice added bonus too, and we tune to enhance that in the ADS speed. Olay laser, same deal as always with the sprint to fire and ADS plus the tunes there as well. And then the Cast 1 barrel is going to negate the nerf that it just got. It got a slightly worse damage drop off at close range now, so that extra damage range will help out some there. Nothing crazy, but it's a little something. Then also better velocity, because why not, right? And we actually tune for better mobility there, so we're kind of getting multiple different aspects and elements of a setup out of one specific attachment. Vaz has been a good go-to for a while now. Same thing here in Season 3 Reloaded. Now, as we get into our last couple of setups here, quick reminder, if you guys are new to the channel, every single day I'm your one-stop shop for news, updates, meta breakdowns, everything going on in COD is right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. And if you guys are enjoying this video, if you find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. It does really help the channel grow. Also, quick shout out to my friends over at G Fuel. If you guys are ever looking to grab anything at all from the G Fuel site, whether it's a collector's box, they just dropped some really, really dope collabs with the Spider-Verse series. So they got some awesome stuff going there with like the new tubs and shakers and stuff. Had to cop some of those, but then any of the normal tubs, the starter packs, you name it, COD WARZONE gets it 20 to 30% off your entire order. So throw that in at checkout, get yourself that nice little discount. Link for that will be down in the description below. Next up here, we got another pretty lethal combination, the M13, which is great for mid to long range. Actually just caught some pretty spicy buffs. And then for our secondary, we have a pistol, the FTAC Siege, which in all honesty is just an SMG. Here though, for what it's worth, I obviously do change my perk package because I'm not using overkill. I just switched that to battle hardened instead. But for the FTAC Siege, within like, 12, 15 meters, this thing's gonna fry. I go all in overkill here. 72 round drum. Most people will be completely content with 50, but 72, man, it's pretty fun. Spray and pray for days. It just allows you to wipe squads without having to reload, which is pretty nice. SIR 160 rear grip, better ADS and sprint to fire tunes to match. The Siege stock will add some consistency to this setup with that better control, and then we also tune for the mobility, so we're getting a lot out of just this one attachment. RR40 suppressor, just gonna keep you off the compass, obviously. I tune for the better velocity and ADS speed, so a little bit of everything out of this. Also extending that damage range is pretty clutch, considering this is a pistol. Then I also go for the CMRN 50 barrel, better control, better velocity, just gonna make it easier to use and a little bit more consistent. Again, we're extending the damage range a bit with the tunes there and adding some control onto it as well. So for a secondary, this thing's utterly ridiculous. Then the M13, same setup as pre-update, but it's going to be better than before because obviously it caught the buff, right? So AIMOT V4, furthest eye position, faster ADS, 60 round extended mag. I wish there was more than this because the fire rate still means you have to reload a ton, but it is what it is. 5.56 high velo on here, better consistency in the mid to long range, gonna make your hit reg feel more normal there, I guess. Better velocity and range on those tunes. Echoless 80 suppressor, better velocity, better ADS speed. Quite frankly, if you wanted to, you could throw on Harbinger or Zulu and add a little bit of control to this too. That wouldn't be a bad option. Then Echelon barrel, better range, velocity, control, the 3-in-1 combo yet again. Better range, better steadiness on the tunes for that. I am loving the feel of the M13 after this update. It's just so reliable, so fun, so easy to use too. There's like no recoil on this thing. And then lastly, we've got my sort of mess around experimental loadout here, the buffed SO14. You put this thing in full auto mode, you are going to shred, especially here on Resurgence on Ashika Island, where the gunfights are a lot more mid-range based. This is perfect for this gun. Then I also pair this with the MP7, super reliable, fast, and easy to use SMG as well. I mean, you're not gonna have to worry about control with this thing, and you got good mobility. So I got the 50 round mag here, gonna just make it nice and easy. That said, if you wanted to, you could throw on an underbarrel, and I'll actually keep the tunes on screen if you wanted to use like the Tango or a shark fin or whatever the case may be. I'll have the tunes there since obviously you're not tuning a magazine, but 50 is fine for an extended mag there. We got the soldier rear grip, better ADS and sprint to fire tunes to match that as well. RXT stock on here, better sprint speed, ADS speed. I do tune for some stability just for some mid-range fights if you find yourself in that situation, and some ADS speed. We got the 7 milliwatt laser, better ADS and sprint to fire per usual. Then KT85 compensator here, just again to make the weapon feel super easy, pretty much negate all the control here so that it shoots straight and you don't have to worry about that. Gun kick control and ADS on the tunes for that. MP7, been a really solid choice for a while, still is rocking here in Season 3 Reloaded. Then the SO14, again, keep in mind, this is the best when it's in full auto mode, but you're gonna get a lot more recoil when you're in full auto. So this setup is really built to kind of counteract that recoil. AMOV V4, pretty standard optic as always, furthest eye position, and the faster ADS. 50 round drum for that extended mag. 25 runs out a little bit too soon for full auto in my opinion, so 50 you're kind of stuck with. High velocity ammo for the better consistency in the mid-range and long range, velocity and range on those tunes. Edge 47 underbarrel, but you could also use Ripper if you wanted to. You could even go for lock grip precision if you wanted to, depending on how comfortable you are with the control here. Stability and stabilization on those tunes. Then lastly, I go for SAC and Shred 40, going all out on the control here as mentioned. Gun kick control and stabilization on the tunes for that one as well. A slept on weapon that can absolutely fry in the right hands. Master the recoil, master the feel of this weapon, and you are going to be set. That being said, those are the top 5 best Resurgence loadouts to be running right now, and that's going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications to always stay up to date with all things going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.